Well, if you were watching the State of the Union the other day, you would have heard an astonishing fact that President Trump revealed the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. That was news to some media outlets, but not to us. NewsNation reported on that a month ago, and the numbers across the country really do speak for themselves. We're seeing huge declines in murders across the country. Denver down 41%, D.C. down 40%, Omaha 40%, Los Angeles 36%, and the list goes on. Someone who's been following this very closely is Allie Bradley. She joins us now with the Bradley Report. Allie, these are remarkable numbers, and they represent people who are living.
Yeah, remarkable historic numbers, Katie. The White House, as you would imagine, is doing a victory lap of sorts, attributing this historic decline to their law and order approach. And that does include immigration enforcement. Now, federal officials say that ICE arrests and removals are targeting the worst of the worst, are targeting gang members, are targeting people with felony criminal convictions. And those individuals, the argument there is that removing those individuals and incarcerating them would reduce the number of people capable of actually committing a homicide in the country. Now, they're also targeting transnational organizations like the cartels and gangs as well, because the theory behind that is that disrupting those transnational border issues would disrupt drug trafficking, would disrupt human smuggling, and also would prevent some of that violence in the interior cities as well, Katie. So we are seeing a lot of the immigration piece being played out with this homicide rate as well, Katie.
Well, speaking of the worst of the worst, Allie, you have exclusive intelligence from the Department of Homeland Security about who they've been arresting lately. Tell us.
Yeah, DHS gives a Bradley report every Thursday, the worst of the worst, who ICE considers to be those individuals. Now, here are 4 of them that were arrested just yesterday. We want to show you the first guy here. This is an individual named Luis Armando Valdivinos Valencia. He's from Mexico. He's a known or suspected terrorist. He's an MS-13 gang member convicted for murder, first-degree robbery, and first-degree burglary in California. Then you have Julio Zemurio Barrios from Mexico, convicted for rape in New York. Then you have Rocio Inacua Rosas, also from Mexico, convicted for kidnapping in California. And then Johnny Umanzor Cardenas from Honduras, convicted for aggravated assault with a weapon, larceny, resisting an officer, and unauthorized use of a vehicle in Texas. Deputy Assistant Secretary Lauren Biss saying, quote, nearly 70% of ICE arrests are of illegal aliens charged or convicted of crime in the United States. This statistic does not even count foreign fugitives, terrorists, and human rights abusers who lack a rap sheet in the United States. Now, those 4 individuals that you just saw will join the growing list. There's more than 25,000 individuals already on the government's worst of the worst website. Easy to find that. You can literally select what state you're from, where they're from, and look at who the government considers the worst of the worst of these criminal arrests, Katie.
I think it's no coincidence that violent crime rates are down while they're getting rid of people like that. Thank you, Allie Bradley. Great to see you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.